Do you wish that you were more creative? Do you wish that you were more productive and that art just came easier to you? In this video, I'm going to share with you a new way of looking at creativity that will make your own art making effortless. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please tap the like button, subscribe to my channel, and tap the notification bell. And if you'd like to support me making more of these videos, please join my Patreon. The link is down in the description. So to start with, let's think about the question, what gets in the way of your creativity? Some of the common answers we'll give is, I don't have time, I don't have energy, I don't know what to do, or I don't really like my art, so I don't really feel a lot of motivation to make something I don't like. These are all different types of frictions that we feel when we sit down to make art. But what if I told you that creativity is your natural state? Creativity takes no more intention or energy than putting the dishes away or talking with a good friend. That's a really different way of viewing creativity than how we often experience it, as something that's tiring and exhausting and real work to pull out the creativity. What I'm going to suggest in this video is that the friction that makes it hard for us to create is not the creativity itself, it's the energy we give to our own self-analysis. My goal in this video is to show you these frictions. Being aware of them is going to begin to show you new possibilities, specifically the truth that your natural creativity flows easily and abundantly. Your natural creativity doesn't require a big chunk of time. It doesn't require physical or mental energy. It doesn't require any specific positive belief about yourself or about your skills. And it doesn't require a structured plan of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. Now, the reality is we feel that creativity is hard. It's elusive. Creating is exhausting. We feel tons of friction in our creativity, which limits the amount of self-expression we do, or it stops our self-expression altogether. Let's think about the ultimate friction you can imagine, the self-speech of, I am not creative. Talk about friction there. That's like if your creativity was a train and the train wheels are just rusted together shut. Can you see how this kind of friction ensures that you won't self-express? This perfectly shows the truth here, that the friction that we feel in our creativity is our thoughts and feelings about our creativity. If we were to lose the analysis, we would lose the paralysis. And to be specific, it's not the analysis necessarily, but our need for the analysis that causes friction. It's our gripping, this sense of, I need to analyze this or else something bad will happen to me. That is the energy burn that gets in the way of your creativity. It's a type of self-preservation and worry. If you've ever seen Seinfeld, George Costanza is the perfect example of someone who is constantly stuck in the friction of analysis. So forget about this video, just watch some Seinfeld and pay attention to George, and you'll understand what I'm getting at in this video. Here's a good example of creativity and friction. Let's think about the sport of football. And let me give a little caveat. I'm not a sports person at all, so you don't need a lot of sports knowledge to follow me here. But we got football, right? When you're watching football on TV, you've got more than the football game, right? You've got the pregame report. You've got the halftime report. You've got the postgame report. You've got the blogs written up about the sport, after the sport. So you got all this analysis that's wrapped up in football that people love to watch and soak in. So now imagine that you're a football player playing this game today. Now imagine that the day before the game, you're doing your team training And while you're in the middle of training, you're listening to a podcast about the upcoming game. And then during the day of the game, during the pregame warm-up, you're listening to the pregame report. While you're playing the game of football, imagine that you have the commentary's live analysis in your ear, step by step. Imagine that in the locker room, you're listening to the halftime report. And then after you win the game, you're listening to the post-game report on the field about the game. And now ask yourself this question: does this football player have his head in the game? All of this analysis that he's paying attention to while he's playing is keeping him from playing. Actual play is unhindered. Now, work, on the other hand, is anything that has the burden of importance and seriousness laid down on top of it. You know what makes vacations so nice? You're not paying as much attention to all of the commentators giving you a play-by-play analysis of your situation. Now, in this example, the commentator, like in the sports analogy, is your own thoughts. When you're on vacation, that stuff isn't as important. You're just on vacation. This underlines an important truth here. We make our own frictions. We make our own problems. Our problems are a commentary superimposed on reality, not reality itself. So these thoughts and problems that might be whirling around in our head are not actually important. We just choose for them to be important or unimportant by the energy that we give them. And so I've said that natural creativity is totally effortless, and that the friction we feel is the energy we give to the self-analysis, the importance we apply to this self-analysis. So the question we have then is, how do I get effortless creativity? My answer to this is that you notice your frictions and you don't do anything about them. That's probably not what you thought I'd say. You probably thought I was going to say that we have to weed these suckers out. But the answer is actually not to clip them away. The answer is not, okay, I got to stop being so self-conscious. I got to stop worrying about how my art will be received. I got to stop worrying about money. This is like worrying about how not to worry. You're not going to get a good result that way. So the answer to this problem is not to apply more effort in order to be more effortless. We're not going to be able to clip out the commentator. This commentator is a part of what you naturally are. It's not going anywhere. But up until now, your little sports announcer has been standing behind you and whispering in your ear, telling you, I'm not creative, or I'm tired, or what will people think about what I'm about to make? So it's sitting back there whispering, and maybe you've just mistaken these whispers for reality. So what we're doing now instead is we're going to turn around and notice the commentator. And now it's not reality anymore. It's somebody sharing their opinion, which you can either accept or reject. Carl Jung had this great quote. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life." As soon as you become conscious of things, then you can start to work with them. They're a choice, and they're not suddenly just something that's directing your life from the shadows. So here's a little exercise that you can do to begin to notice your own self-analysis. Let's go back to that football analogy that I did earlier. Now you're the football player, but instead of football, let's apply this to art. So you're about to start making art, and you've got this color commentator that's given all this commentary. Ask yourself the question, what is your announcer saying pre-game, during the game, and post-game? So pre-game might be like the thoughts you have before you've started making a piece of art. During the game is while you're painting or drawing, and post-game is all the thoughts and commentary you have after you've made your piece of art. And just to get you started, here are some of my own announcer's commentary when I'm making art. Pre-game, my announcer says things like, "There are too many distractions for me to create right now." The announcer also says, "I don't have enough energy to do anything right now." During the game, my announcer says, "If I try something new or risky, I could mess up this whole piece." And my announcer also says, "Is someone even going to buy this?" And post-game, after I'm done with the art and I've posted it on Instagram, my announcer says, "What do people think about what I just did?" The great thing about this exercise is you'll find as you work on this, you won't need to grip the self-analysis as much. When your thoughts and feelings are out there in the light of day, they aren't as big or as catastrophic as when they're just in the background. And so they're in the light of day, you don't pour as much energy into them. And that energy is now freed up to play, to create. That little child in you who loved to play is still very much inside you. There's just all these layers of importance and seriousness between that child and yourself. But the truth is, you are abundantly creative, just as creative as when you were a little kid. And your natural creativity is as easy as breathing. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please tap the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification icon. And if you'd like to support me making more videos like this, join my Patreon. I've got a link down in the description. Thanks, and happy art making, everyone.